Hello YouTube, this is Night of Misfortune bringing you a video outlining a new series of events I have announced previously for the 2020 year for the game of Supreme Commander 2. I'm quite excited to, detail and present these the Serpent's Championship series for the 2020 year. Quite exciting. I'm hoping that this might give a boost to the community and, have players compete on a more regular and in a more serious setting. So this will be a series of 3 videos just kind of outlining what the event is or what are the events and basically the rules and everything you need to know so that you might not necessarily have to read the document. However, I do recommend that you do so because for every event that you will be signing up for, you will have to agree to these rules, and if you don't know what they are, well then, you signed it, so you're acknowledging you know these rules, you've read them. So I won't be going over every single word in this document, but it's here to just cover us because we've had issues in the past with people not understanding the rules, people not reading the rules, and I'm happy to answer any questions you have, but not knowing the rules will not be an exception to, not following them. Anyway, with that out of the way, I did want to just highlight some of the rules here. So it's a fairly long document, but honestly, it doesn't contain anything, out of the ordinary. A lot of it you've already seen in some of the events. So just as an overall, so we're terming all the events as part of the circuit. Well, most of the events, as you'll see here in a second. An SCS, so Serpent's Championship Series, so whatever has this tag, you'll know it's associated with it. The whole point of this is to basically determine the best player around right now for the Supreme Commander 2 game. And that is what this whole series is for, and it will be decided at the Serpent's Invitational at the end of the year. So players will be competing through Serpent Open events, Serpent's leagues, to qualify, obtain points for this final invitational. So this will be a 8 to 16 players, which I will detail in a second, all these events, but 8 to 16 players depending on the participation. So it should be the best of the best of the players. So really these rules are to establish that because this is a more serious tournament, and we'll get into the prizes, because this is a more serious tournament and because of the length of the tournament, we don't want any misunderstandings or any hurt feelings about this. So this is why I took the time to write up this kind of document. So that's what basically you see here. Basically, you're required to understand and accept the rules. You must also abide by these rules while playing the events, and then lack of awareness will not be used as grounds for exemptions. I'll try to be understanding with you, but if the rule is clearly written here, there's really no excuse. And also, this rule is a living document. This is my first time. Well, I ran many tournaments and events in the past, but still, there's lots to be explored, lots to be maybe added or changed. So you have to understand that this is also a living document, which will not be putting I will not be putting in last minute changes just to screw you over. It's more to, again, just make it fair for everybody. So acceptance of the rules by submitting your application to any SCS event, by registering on Challenge A or registering for the league, you're acknowledging that you have read and understood all the stuff in this document. You also indicate your acceptance to the rules and that you agree to abide by them at all times. If you violate these rules at any time, you may be basically disqualified, or you have forfeits, or basically anywhere in between that. So and then by signing up, you also agree to have your replays cast. So I haven't met a person who isn't okay with this. All right, so the interesting part here is that, you know, we've planned this series of events. So as I mentioned earlier, there's two types of events: Serpent's Open events and then League events. And that I will make like two separate other videos just to detailing the rules for those specifically. But basically, League is, you know, players signing up and then playing against everybody else, and then depending on their standings, they'll get points. And then Serpent's Open, you know, we've had the Serpent's Open Winter, so you kind of know what that is. It's just your regular tournament structures. Pretty much all other of these opens will follow the same rules except for the anniversary tournament. Now, this tournament will most likely not be run by me. It will most likely be run by, not most likely, it will be run by Steel Speaks and Spiff. I'm not sure if I'm going to be helping out with this tournament, if I'm going to be casting this tournament, or any other, you know, participation. I might play in this tournament. I haven't decided yet. This is not my tournament. I didn't want to run another tournament because, you know, this is a pretty significant milestone, and Steel Speaks and Spiff have been planning this event for a while. So, but I will be assigning points for this tournament. So, like, if you do great, we'll get into that. This will still count for your qualification. So I want to encourage players to play. And as you will see, there will be more points actually for this tournament than any other tournament in this list. And then finally, we have the Invitational, which will be roughly scheduled for this date in December. So I would keep that open just to see. And then each one of these tournaments will be, you know, scheduled around this time, maybe not necessarily at that exact point. The idea is like you'll have the league, and then you'll have the corresponding tournament at the end of the season. So probably around the end time, even though, you know, you see this date, but somewhere around there during the summer. So that's what basically this all discusses, what I just talked about. So there's two main ways to qualify for the final 8. By default, it will be probably 8 players if we have enough participation. So far, you know, we have decent amount of players, but I would really expect a little bit more of you to sign up. Hopefully this video will help, you know, get the word around. So league winners. So this is different from league standings. So I will get into this a bit later, but basically each league winner, which definition I will explain in probably a separate video, will qualify for the final. So there will be 3 leagues, so 3 players can qualify via this method. And then finally, series standing. This is what I was mentioning above. So top 4 players will be awarded a seed in the final, Serpent's Invitational, based on all the points they acquire through all of these events. So that's what that is. And then, as you can tell, there's, you know, 3 and 4 players. So there's that leaves 1. That will be determined later. I haven't decided what I want to do yet. I might make it maybe like a mini invitational before. Maybe there will be another tournament or something of that nature. We'll see what happens here, what I decide to do. Well, I might, at the end of the day, if nothing else, I'll just take the top 5 from the series standings, and that will be used. So if we do get a lot of players participating, and to expand to 16 players, I would expect much more players to participate. Maybe around, you know, 32 players, you know, consistently playing, which, I mean, is difficult for our community, but I really would encourage you to spread the word around. I did a survey asking players to see how interested people are in events, and I've had like close to 70 responses. So there's people out there that want to play this game. And if there's something preventing you from playing, or for participating in these events, just let me know, and maybe we can work something out to make it easier for you to participate. But I would really expect more players to play for me to expand it to 16. So if that does happen, I'll expand basically qualification to the winners of each of the Serpent's Open tournaments. So 4 more players from each one of those. We already had 1 winter winner, so they would qualify. And then I would expand the series standing to top 9 players. So just basically to make up for the 16 players. Again, we reserve the right to basically make it our judgment if we want to expand it to 16 players. And I kind of outline my thought process. Now the fun part, rewards. Nothing's really set in stone yet. So the main prize for the Serpent's Champion championship series is the winner trophy, which is what I wanted to kind of, this is what gives meaning to be the best of the best, right? If you've committed throughout the year to play this many matches, you've consistently been playing, and then at the end of an invitational, which, it's the best of the best, you happen to win, I will ship you the winner trophy. I will make a trophy and I will ship it anywhere in the world for you as a reward. In addition, I'm kind of setting aside at least $300 for the final. So it's a significant chunk of change. I believe this is the biggest prize pool we've had for Supreme Commander 2. So it's nothing to scoff at. And we might have more to this, just depending on what I want to do. And this is just, again, to encourage you guys to play. I really want to see my favorite game thrive and have some good competition. Other awards, so I haven't really scheduled any awards, so for other tournaments, so these will be announced closer to the date. Right now, there's no really awards for leagues, but if you want to contribute to the prize pool of any event, just let me know. There might be a little bit of a conflict of interest if you do donate, but I don't really think there will be any issues with that. Just let me know, send me an email, we can discuss it if you want to contribute to the prize pool. You can also always contribute via my Patreon. Links should be down below in the video. All right, so the points, basically, I won't go over these, but as you can see, there's Serpent's Open events. You'll get this many points for the associated placings. And then this is specifically for the 10th anniversary tournament here. As you can see, I'm doubling the points for that tournament. I really want to see a lot of players play in this tournament. So I'm really hoping that this helps to encourage you guys to play. So spread the word. Like I said, it's going to be in March because the game is released in March in 2010. So the 10th anniversary tournament will probably be around then. So mark your calendars, maybe make your load a little bit less for that month. I really want to see, if we could get 64 players for this tournament, that will be crazy good. I will be so happy, and I'm sure Steel Speaks will be happy. So these are the points that you'll get. And then finally, League. League is actually where you get most of your points because I wanted to reward consistent play. So this is where you're going to be getting the most points. So if you play in League consistently and you do well, you'll get a lot of points. And even, if you take 9th through 16th place, that's still more than almost as much as if you take 3rd or 4th place in a regular tournament. So, just something to consider. And then all prizes, again, determined by player participation. To receive any monetary prize, you must have a PayPal account, and all prizes must be claimed within 1 week's time. I can be lenient on these, but I think for going forward, just to eliminate any kind of confusion, I might be a little more strict on this rule. So you must have a PayPal account to claim your prize. Player conduct is pretty important, so just be smart. We had issues with just players being dumb. Just use your brain. If you're in doubts of what you should be doing, don't do it. Just don't do it. It's gonna be fine. Again, you might think it's cool, it's just us in the chat room, but I might be streaming. Whatever might happen. It's a professional tournament. Just leave it all to personal messages and other stuff. Leave everything out of game chats, tournament chats, specifically on Discord that are tournament chats. Just leave it out of there. If we see any of that, you will get a warning. I've had already issued warnings. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. Easiest thing. Cheating, as always, not cool, not permitted. None of it will be put up with, and absolutely there will be no exemptions for this. This is the one thing we will not be going on lightly. So it's similar stuff. So none of this, and it's not limited to this. So anything could be considered cheating or exploitation will not be allowed. So sign up for any event other than the 10th anniversary tournament, you must submit an application. So this will be mainly done through Google Form. You'll see links posted in different Discords, and that's how you can register. So you can basically complete a sign up and give your information. The two main components will be user ID. So this user ID has to match what your name is on the OSS Discord. server, and it has to match at least partially what you use in game. You will also be asked to provide a Steam sign up, so you have to basically match that, and you can only have 2 changes of the name in the series. So throughout the whole year, you can only change your name twice. So I would just suggest using your actual name. There have been players that are using their second accounts, which I don't understand why. Just use your main account. People will know it's you anyway. Just use your main account, and like if you win, I would want to have my wins under my real name, not under a secondary account. Anyway, that's just me. Faction choice for the tournaments. This might actually. This says for all events, but I think we're going to exclude leagues from this. So only the tournaments. And again, this excludes the anniversary tournament because Still Speaks probably will do open factions. But for my tournaments that I run, I really enjoyed having one faction pick. So for the tournaments, at the very least, we're going to have one faction pick. And random is always a valid choice. All match rules, so this applies to both tournaments and leagues. This is really standard. This part is just straight from the Challenge A postings that you guys see. All games will be normal speed. No unit or structures or strategies are banned. One player must submit the results from the match and the associated replays to the OSS Discord Tournament League server within 15 minutes of being played. This is, previously we've been using multiple ways to submitting your replays, but this will be the only way for this, just to minimize headaches, just to keep it all in one place. If you need help finding replays, you should really know, but just click on that link. If you don't do so within a reasonable time, I put 15 minutes here, but within a reasonable time, you will be disqualified. Like both players will get a tie if neither one submits the results. All right, so Assassination, PC only, no Xbox, normal speed, non-negotiable, instantly disqualified if you don't use it. Anyway, DLC, no base game. No units will be banned. No observers are allowed except for the official commentators. Each player is asked to save their replays for disputes. If you don't have a saved replay and you're asking to dispute a result, then there's nothing I can do for you. If you disconnect, it is considered a loss. However, your opponent might be graceful enough to basically let you replay. So it's up to your opponent, solely based on your opponent if they want to replay it or not. If you have any questions, contact me. As always, with any of these rules, just contact me. All maps must be played on opposite spawns. If you have any questions about spawns, just message me. If you play your match outside of the window, I've had players asking me to complete their matches ahead of time. Oftentimes I will let you do it, but if you just do it out of nowhere, they will not be counted. So just be aware of that. And any deviations from these rules may result in immediate disqualification. So, just follow the rules. There's nothing difficult about these rules. It's standard stuff that we've been using for our stuff. So in the subsequent videos, I will go into the league rules and the tournament rules. They're not going to be super long videos. But the last thing I wanted to mention is failure to appear. So during the leagues, because it is a little bit of a longer thing, I understand if people have stuff come up or have to go out for a vacation or whatever. I'm not expecting you guys to be yes, this is a professional tournament, but at the end of the day, you're not living this game. Chances are you're not. Which if you are, it's cool. But, I understand if you have to, switch your schedules here and there. So you're required to complete at least one match in a 2-week window. If you only complete one, the other one will obviously be a loss. But as long as you complete one match, you won't get a warning or anything. If you don't complete one match, you will basically forfeit, and you also will get a warning. If you get 2 warnings in the same league, you will be disqualified from all further tournaments. The only exception to this, if you contact me ahead of time, or, if something else comes up and you let me know afterwards, not always are you going to think about Supreme Commander 2 for this. So just let me know. We'll talk about it. I'm understanding, but again, you just show up to your games if you can. You've signed up for this for a reason, so just make your games, have fun playing, and you should be fine. If you fail to appear for a tournament day, having signed up prior, you will be disqualified from all further tournaments. I've had players come to me and say, do you have any backups? Like, I might not be able to play. When you sign up for a tournament, especially a professional tournament, it's really expected that when you do sign up, that you know that you're able to participate. That is why we give you such a big window, a month ahead of in advance, so that you can plan ahead. Sign up for it, and then we will have like windows closing like a week prior to the tournaments, so you have time to unsign up. But if you sign up and the window ends and you're no longer able to remove your application, then you will be disqualified from everything else. You should know a week ahead if you're able to attend a 2-day tournament. That's a pretty big time commitment, and you should know that you're available. So that's just the last thing here. So that's basically the overview of this event. I'm really hoping that you're as excited as I am for this, and I hope that we get a lot of participation out of this. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to contact me at nightofmisfortune@gmail.com, or send me a message on Discord, or even Steam, and just let me know. Any suggestions, any questions, any concerns, just let me know. I will be making the league rule video here in a second, and I will see you guys in the next video and in some games. So thank you very much for watching.